What's up, guys? Coach Cam. Let's have a quick discussion over what it means to train muscles. So let's start by talking about what it's not, right? So training your muscles, it's not a sport. So it's not going to football practice, basketball practice, track practice. Those are sports that you're going to practice. You're not training the muscles of the body, right? So your body is covered in muscles. Okay, and how you stimulate them the most and train them for adaptations is you contract them. Really simple, right? You contract your muscles. You can contract them sitting down, standing up, holding something, using a machine. There's a plethora of ways to contract muscles. All right, but that's the basis of the stimulus, is contracting them. Then what do you do from that point, right? How long do you contract them for, or how hard, right? Well, that's a good question, because how hard you contract your muscles is in fact the stimulus. It is in fact the stimulus for adaptations, contracting your muscles as hard as you can. Now, if you do this while the muscle is fresh and you just quickly contract it as hard as you can, you're highly risking injury by doing that. So instead, what I suggest is you find exercises that target specific muscles of your body, probably weights, body weight. Like we said, there's a multiple plethora of ways. Pick the modality of the exercise or the machine. Lock in on that machine. Sit there, lock your body in place, contract the target muscles as hard as possible. And what I mean by as hard as possible is to failure. Okay, so you want to pick a moderate weight or a resistance profile, whatever you can find, and contract your muscles intensely and let the muscle be temporarily weakened by how stimulated you're creating in this muscle. It'll be weak. It won't be able to produce the same force once you have stimulated it. So you have to fatigue a muscle to train it. That being said, there's a lot of activities you can do that use muscles that even might fatigue muscles, right? Powerlifting, track and field, soccer, pickleball, going for a walk. All these different activities have different levels of muscle fatigue built into them, and they obviously have a huge skill component that comes along with that. So those activities are not exercise, they are activities. They're sports. They're recreational endeavors that you might have, but it's not training your muscles. It uses them. And it might have an exercise-like side effect, but it's not exercise. It's not contracting the muscles intensely for adaptations. It's focused on the weight you're using, right? Powerlifting. It's all about how much weight can you use. And you're actually trying to find the form to get the least possible stimulus, to get the least fatigue out of your muscles so you can move the most weight. So it's kind of the opposite of exercise, right? But people in our culture, they get it in their minds that these things are exercise. Running is exercise, swimming. See, because then at that point, you can just draw the line to anything, right? Bowling is exercise. Golfing is exercise. Mowing the grass is exercise. And that's where I end up saying how cardio doesn't exist, right? The cardio is dead because everything is cardio, because you're contracting your muscles. So you can't really say I went and did cardio. No, you went and did walking, or you climbed stairs. Like, it doesn't have any special effect on your body compared to any other form of contracting your muscles, right? So you want to find a resistance type exercise that will stimulate your muscles with enough mechanical tension and stress to grow them, right? To get them stronger. So running is a good example of how it doesn't do that, right? It has a very low mechanical stress component to where you are not getting hypertrophy of your muscles. You're not getting stronger muscles. You might get a little bit stronger muscles if you're really weak, or you might get stronger muscles if you run like up hills, something like that, because now you just increase the mechanical stress. Well, what if you took that uphill running and for your legs instead you just put a bar on your back, added plates to the sides, squatted up and down, right? You didn't actually go anywhere. You didn't move across the earth. You stood in one spot, but you added mechanical stress to your legs that will go along with the cardiovascular component that you're getting. So just something to think about. This is how you train muscles. Now, if you're going to do another sport, say you want to play basketball, but you also want to train your muscles. Train your muscles, as I'm saying. Another phrase to consider is called high intensity training. It's the same thing. It's just the best phrase we have so far, but it means the same thing. Training your muscles, with the lowest possible volumes to get the highest possible stimulus and most recovery possible. And then train your sport on the side. Practice your sport on the side. Practice the skills of your sport. Practice the jump, the dunking for basketball. Whatever your sport entails, practice that on the side, but train your muscles specifically and intentionally. The reason I make sure to distinguish these activities from exercise is so you don't get confused when you don't get actual exercise results. What do I mean? Well, if you're a power lifter and you start to realize, hey, I get tired really easily, like all the time. I think my cardio is weak and I need to train cardio. Well, it's because your cardiovascular system is not adequately stimulated in 5 seconds of lifting a really heavy weight and putting it back down. Because lifting heavy weight, putting it back down is not exercise. It's powerlifting, right? It's competition. You're trying to see how much weight can you lift up and put back down. That's not training your muscles. It uses them. It uses them quite a bit, depending on the individual, exactly how many reps they did. It can quite literally use your muscles very well, but it's literally night and day compared to actually contracting your target muscles to failure in one all-out hard set. That maximally stimulates your cardiovascular system, because your cardiovascular system innervates your muscles. Nobody talks about this. It's in the textbooks. Just open it. Your cardiovascular system innervates your muscles. Your muscles is the center of your cardiovascular system. Your chest, your biceps, your delts, your lats, your quads, your hamstrings, your calves. These are actually the center of the cardiovascular system, because as you voluntarily contract these muscles, you increase the involvement of your cardiovascular system. Now, most people, like I said, if you're picking a modality that doesn't train the muscles to failure, train the muscles hard enough, then they'll find, oh, wow, my cardio sucks. Quote unquote, my cardio sucks. And then they go run, right? Well, you don't need to go run. You need to train your muscles harder, deliberately. So take a separate session and decide, I'm going to train these muscles as hard as I can. Now, a lot of power lifters nowadays do that after their bench, squat, deadlift work. They go and they hit all the machines and stuff. So they kind of realize, hey, I can't just bench, squat, and deadlift really hard because I'm neglecting the actual tissue of my body, which they're correct. So at least we're on the same page about that. I guess the next page is, does contracting those muscles really intensely actually get you cardiovascular improvements? The answer is yes. And then next to that is, what are you doing to measure your cardiovascular improvement? Do you think that a 5K determines your cardiovascular fitness, like how fast you can run a 5K? Because if you think that, then yes, you need to go run so that you can fulfill that role and improve your 5K time, and then you'll be like, yeah, my cardio is better. Ultimately, that is actually not necessary. Like I said, go back to what I said. You can contract your muscles sitting down. You don't even have to stand up. Think of quad extensions, right? Or hack squats or whatever. You don't have to run. You don't have to move for miles and miles. You can live in a house in the woods with a home gym setup and get all these benefits without having to have trails and places to run. I'm not saying, I hate running or you shouldn't run. If you love running or if you're competing in it, go run. I'm just saying to get the benefits in your body and in your muscles requires hard training. Not necessarily any specific sport or modality, just contracting your muscles hard. So the best part about this is that it applies to everyone. It applies to people who are in prison, who have no equipment, but hey, they can do push-ups, they can do squats, they can do pull-ups, right? It applies to old ladies in hospital beds. They can contract their muscles. How? Well, we have dumbbells, so they can put their arms on the outside of the bed and do dumbbell bicep curls, or stick their arm out to the side and do lateral raises, or just hold it there, just isometric contractions. These all work, and these all will get results because of it comes down to how hard you push your muscles, how hard you push yourself. So the possibilities are really endless. And, we're working on technology today to where you can have a machine in your house that can generate maximum fatigue into your muscles in a short amount of time. And you can use that for all different exercises across your whole body. So you won't even need you won't need dumbbells, barbells, all that stuff. You can have one machine just pulling different handles and pushing things different directions and get all those benefits. So I just challenge you guys to open up your mind to the possibilities of that, and do yourself a favor by distinguishing different types of exercises. Like I'm saying, most people don't do this. They want to think everything works and they don't want to offend anybody, so they're scared to talk about this type of stuff. I'm not scared to talk about it. It's serious. It's a real thing. Basically, your body is more interconnected than you think, but training it hard and properly is simpler than you think, and will actually get you better results in far less time, which is the big reason that I train the way I do. I mean, I'm training 30 minutes a week and getting the results that other people put in hours and hours a week to try to get these results. So it's up to you. Train how you want, but I'm trying to help you guys grasp what is exercise and what it's not, so that when you do a sport and then you realize, wow, I'm not that fit, I'm just really good at this one exact little sport that I do. It's that's because you're not exercising. You're just practicing a sport that happens to give you some stimulus. But imagine the stimulus if you actually targeted your muscles directly with weights or with any specific modality with enough mechanical tension. The results will be through the roof.